The highest amount of human and animal conflict which any city is facing right now is reptiles. So it's called snakes in the city, and we call it Havu Matu Navu, or living with snakes. Living with snakes is something which we all have to go through. We've been doing rescues the last 10 years. We're going to continue doing that. That means anybody, any one of you can have a snake at your place right now. As I already said, urbanization, development of construction, the kind of construction designs we do, the landscape, I've been saying that these are all the perfect habitat for snakes. So that means rescue is not going to stop, or somebody coming and picking up a snake from your working space or living environment would continue as it has continued the last 10 years. It is going to continue for the rest of our life. So it is very important to add this in our next future constructions to decide and understand how are we going to keep our working environment snake friendly and snake protected. Before I talk about the uses of snakes in the city, I want to know how come we have so many snakes. Where did they come from? Do you know that we have increased the reptile population? Certain species of snakes, for example cobras, rat snakes, or the keelbacks, have been so much in population in the city that you would never find them in this numbers in the forest. And this is because of our planning of construction, landscape, and our organic or inorganic waste management system is the perfect habitat for these species of snakes to breed, thrive, and survive. So I've already told, we have to live with snakes and rescue is going to continue. So how do we avoid them? What is that something which I can do immediately to reduce snakes coming into my living space? They're only there in your area because of rats. You need to have a strict rodent control population if you work with your rats, and that also adds a lot of waste management. If you're working and you're taking care of your waste management, you would definitely not have snakes coming inside. Apart from that, you need to definitely involve certain architectural construction before you're building your next place. And these are the kind of stuff which you need to start thinking to avoid snakes coming into your house. To educate yourself with snake bite and snake bite mitigation, please follow us on Havu Matu Navu. That's a page which is dedicated to all, which talks about the right protocols and procedure. For example, I'm going to teach you a simple formula. It is called the 3D formula. Deny entry, deny food, deny shelter. Start thinking like a snake. The reason they come inside your properties is mainly you're giving them shelter, food, and an entry point. So start taking a walk around your property, look at the possible entry points on how a snake is coming inside. For example, it could be from your window or an overhanging branch which is right next to your wall. These are all the entry points. It could also be a PVC pipe which is entering your house. Try and block these. The second thing is shelter. Shelter is something where snakes, after they eat, they're cold-blooded animals. Either they need a warm or a cold place. So some of the warm places around your house could be a kitchen, or could be a place where you piled up your campfire or barbecue wood stock. If not, some of the cold places is definitely around the pool area, or usually when there is a water motor which is leaking, that kind of area stays damp and they love that place. Most of the time when I go pick up a snake, it's in these places. The other thing which I would say is destroy food. Of course, if you have to destroy food, the only way to do that is rats, and to also avoid rats, you need to have a very strict, as I repetitively say, good waste management plan. Back in those days, we thought Bangalore only had about 18 species of snakes, but hey, we have 29 right now. Recently, including just 2 to 3 months back, we discovered a snake which is called Nagarjuna Sagar, which is also part of Bangalore rural. Apart from that, some of the most commonly found species where we, especially in rescues, the record which we have the last 5 years is always a competition between cobras and rat snakes. Then comes the Russell's viper. Then it is usually the keelback or the trinket. But of course, we have been missing out. We have not seen crates in a long time. We have not seen olive keelbacks, green keelbacks, and also the bronzeback population have reduced humongously. In a year, we used to catch not more than 50, 60 bronzebacks, and right now it's reduced to not more than 10 or 12. So this is what which says that certain species of snakes can definitely adapt to the city life, and the others need a different habitat, and that's why we are losing them. In fact, I keep saying it, it's very scary to see cobras and rat snakes, including Russell's viper, is peaking in their population list. I'm going to talk certain threats which is causing most of our snakes to die. And some of the most commonly things are roadkills. We have created an island. For them to move from one place to another place, a snake has to cross a road. And with the amount of traffic, it's so challenging for a human to cross, you can imagine nobody is bothering. I would say more than 80% of their snakes die. What are the threats for snakes in the city? To be honest, we have already lost most of the non-venomous snakes. These venomous snakes, which can survive in gutters, drains, human-dominated area, or even just an empty site, like the cobra, Russell's viper, rat snakes, have all survived and have mastered how to live. They can eat a rat and they can stay there for the rest of their life. Whereas other snakes, like your cat snakes, your bronze back, wine snakes, they also need a very nice habitat. For example, they're all arboreal. They need a lot of trees. And their prey habits also differ. Some of these snakes can definitely eat squirrels, frogs, and other smaller birds. Whereas our bigger venomous snakes, our primary diet can be rats and bandicoots. So the availability of food for these venomous snakes have increased because of the human population, of course. And as I keep stressing on our waste management, we have created certain habitats where I keep saying that they have survived more. Keeping this in mind, out of the 29 species of snakes, we are getting a lot of population on the venomous one, and due to lack of lakes, lack of habitats like lakes, forest,